Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and this is Regular Guy Training. So I was thinking of ways to get this guy out again and put it on video for pick a reason. Mostly because I really like shooting this rifle. There's just something about it. Maybe it's nostalgia or something. It feels like a real rifleman's rifle to me. And take a break from the Ninja Fight gear and all that crap. And you guys know that I like my older school videos as far as the technological standpoint is concerned, right? So you guys read the title of the video, and the title of the video is the Army's Zero accurate, right? Or something really close. I haven't figured out exactly what to call it yet. Now, as far as that is concerned, right, I joined the Army in 2008, right? And since then, a lot of stuff has changed, right? But the one thing that has definitely not changed in the near 10 years that I've been in the Army, and holy crap, that's painful to hear. But 2 months from now, it'll be 10 years, right? And what has absolutely not changed is the rifle PMI for the vast majority of units that I've been in. Now, I've sat through my fair share of them, and I've taught my fair share of them. And I noticed that it's inaccurate. It's just inaccurate, right? Now, here's the thing. With this particular Zero, what we're going to do is I'm going to do some shooting at 300, right? And we're on the metric system, okay? It's 300 meters, not yards, and they are different. But we're at 300 meters, and what I'm also going to do is I'm going to show you the difference between hits at 300 meters and what that translates to at 25 meters, right? Around about 27 yards. And here's the thing. Generally speaking, you run into quite a bit of resistance, right? Because what's been in the basic training manual forever has more or less worked for the Army, right? Generally speaking, if you qualify, you qualify, right? And it doesn't really matter all that much exactly how accurate the Zero is, pertinent to the ammunition and the rifles used and all that. But I'm not, me personally, I'm all about eking out that little bit of extra performance. And there are some points that I'm going to allude to later on that sort of push my reasoning for making this video in the first place, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to step back here. We're going to shoot at 300, and then we're going to bring the target back. Now, you'll notice that this target was shot quite a bit. I made sure that I was properly zeroed. I did the reduced zero for 300 meters, a proper one, and then I went out to 300 meters, and I shot this a lot just to confirm my data, to ensure that what I'm saying is correct, right? So what we have here is a Palmetto State Armory 20-inch kit. This is essentially, this is from their premium line, right? And the reason why that's significant, particularly in the moving parts and in the barrel, this is just about exactly a military issue M16 minus a burst cam. And the reason for that is for the premium kits, there are FN barrels in them, and FN builds our M16s for the Army. It's not the Colts, for my military friends. Colt builds the M4. And what we have here is a 4150 Cold Hammer forged chrome molybdenum steel barrel, 1-in-7 twist, with a chrome line bore, as well as barrel extension. That would be the star chamber, right? The only real difference between this guy and a military issue M16 is the grip, right? Because I hate the A2 grips, the little notch in them, the little finger groove is really fucking annoying. And the charging handle, because I like having my MV controls, right? In the gun, we have M855, the same stuff that has been used forever, right? It's 62 grains of green tip stuff. And what's going to happen there is the reason for all of this, and the reason why I went out to spend the money on basically the worst ammo you can buy for a 5.56 rifle, is because I want this to mimic exactly what's being used on military ranges across the country, right? So we're going to go ahead and shoot that now. Alright, can't even really see it that well, but if we zoom and zoom and zoom, you'll see a little white guy leaned up against that tree way over there, right? So that is at 300. Now don't worry, on the other side of that hill is just rolling hills and nothingness. So there we go. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and prone out here. I'm going to fire a shock group at the thing, and then we'll go down there and check it out. Oy. All right, let's go see, shall we? Okay, so let's walk up on this guy. And hey, look at that. Just about center mass. From the tape today, you could see that that wasn't my best shooting of the day. However, there are a few points to make just off of that, so let's go talk about it. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit here. Now, with this guy, as you can see, you know, I'm holding where I need to hold, and it's impacting in that area. Okay, the little square guys here were the previous shots from the previous times that I went out, walked back and forth and shot these. Okay, the ragged tape was just from the zeroing process, changing things up, all that. Okay, so you can see it pretty easily. Even with not great shooting on my part, and that's only because I'm at the point where I'm just cold right now. And I've done this so many times, I'm beginning to get impatient. You know, so even with me making sure that I have a good natural point of aim, so I'm giving you guys accurate data, this is, from what you could probably see, you know, a little bit of the worst shooting I've done today, right? Now, the point of all of this, right, is that on the reduced size target, the reduced 300 meter target, right, the circle, like you have the point of aim dot, and then you have a circle that spans almost the entire thing, right? This is well within that, right? Like if I was zeroing a person on a reduced size target and all 5 rounds are in here, according to the Army, that's a go, right? Because out at 300, it's in there, would you say? So here's the thing. Why then am I making a video about this at all? That's just kind of saying, oh, well, the Army Zero is perfectly accurate. Why are you making a scene, man? Well, check this out. In order to get hits like that, about center mass on at 300, right? You're not shooting point of aim, point of impact at 25 meters. I promise you. Okay. The reason being is that there is a height over bore issue that close. Now, for instance, right, if I had a target 3 feet in front of me, okay, and I put my front sight post on the dude's nose, right, just looking at the difference between the height of the sight and the barrel, if I took a shot with the front sight post on that dude's nose, it's not going to hit him in the nose, right? Now, if we're trying to do a line of sight zero out to 300, there's a point at which this height over bore issue, height of the sights over the bore, is still a factor, right? It starts to shrink, and then post a certain yard line, that would be about 36-ish, hint, hint, it's still, you still have a height over bore issue. So if I'm trying to hit that same dude in the nose, I'm going to have to hold a little bit high, you know, with regards to this. Now, well, again, the guys that are just kind of like, well, I've been doing this forever and blah, blah, blah. I've shot in the 30s for a long time. The reason for me making this video is that you could quite easily add another 4 or 5 points to this. And the reason why I'm saying that is because from out the gate, you're zeroed high. Right? Now, where's the proof in the pudding? Well, I have targets back there. I still have bullets. We're going to prove that now. Okay, it's getting windy and colder, so check it out. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at right here. Now, with this guy, right, the point of impact is this little circle right here. You can see where a lot of my shots have ended up, right? But I'm not just going to leave it at that. We're going to go ahead and shoot this, okay? Oh, yeah. Now, what I'm trying to illustrate here is I've already gotten centered up impacts at 300, right? Like, it's there, okay? Even if I screw up the shot a little bit, which I did, with more than one of those rounds, actually, you're still going to end up pretty centered up on the target itself, and that's fine, right? So what we're going to do here is, the reason why I took you back and talked the entire time is I'm not trying to show you any trickery or anything like that, right? We're still going to shoot at that same little dot. Now, as far as this is concerned, this is 25 meters, right? I hit it with a laser rangefinder that's hooked to my belt currently, okay? And what I'm going to do now is grab my ear protection first of all. And I am now going to fire a shot group or two at this dot. Get dark. Now, there are going to be people that ask me, well, what about going to the Z on the drum, you know, and then bringing it back? Doesn't that help? I'll show you right now, because I just went from the Z on the drum to the post that, basically, to the 6/8, right? So, we'll see if that's actually different at this range. All right, let's go see. My hands are cold. Why didn't you shoot with iPro? You can't give me a counseling statement through the interwebs. Well, would you look at that? There is no difference at this range between the Z and where you're supposed to end up after the Z. Okay, at this range, 25 meters is not adequate for what that is made for. Okay, and you can see we're over an inch low. Okay, So, what does that actually mean? Well, let's talk about it. Okay, so what this means basically is that if you actually go to point of aim, point of impact at 25 meters, you're actually shooting significantly higher than you should at 300, right? And unfortunately, that means you're shooting high pretty much the rest of the time as well, because at 300, that's where the most of your bullet drop comes from. Okay, now if we're zeroed properly for 300 meters, the difference between 50 and 300, for instance, right? I mean, and I mean at the different ranges, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, and 300. The difference between that center mass impact and 50 yards, right, at 350, right? All of those differences and different points of impact, differences in point of impact at those various ranges amounts to about this much spread, right? If you have a proper 300 meter zero. Now that's not much, but if you already start at high, you can get away with most of the targets. That's why most of the time you end up hitting most of the targets. But a lot of people end up having trouble with targets farther away, because the point is that if you're a couple of inches higher at the start at 25, it multiplies itself quite a bit down there. Which means instead of you trying to hit the center mass of said target, what you're really shooting for is up in here. Okay, and I don't know about you, but a neck shot's kind of hard at 300. Okay, so some of you may be a lot better at this than you actually think. It's just we've been using the wrong zero for a long time. And look, I'm not some revolutionary trying to say that everything that, has ever been taught is wrong. Portions of the Army figured this out too. Okay, for my soldiering dudes, all you got to look up is the AMU manual on zeroing a rifle, and it covers the irons, the optics of both varieties, all of that, right? And it echoes the exact same data that I just gave you. Okay, so for like you E5s and below and you E4s and stuff that are trying to push a case that it's like, hey, this is it, and dude doesn't want to watch the video, you can simply go to the AMU manual. It literally explains all of it. Okay, so I hope I was helpful in a way. I know that I was not shooting as well as I probably should. You guys have seen me shoot better on this channel. But, dude, it's windy and it's cold. And my hands, man. So, but I pretty much figured that, this would be good enough as far as just the data that's there and where it is. And you guys can see from the previous tape and stuff like that. I shot this a lot before I decided to put this on video, because before I try to do some stuff like this, I at least want to be correct, right? So, if you guys want to come out and get some training with us, we have a lot of stuff on the website currently. We have rifle stuff coming, I promise you. But as of right now, we got a shotgun class that's going down in Louisiana and a bunch of other pistol stuff in different states. So, you never know, it could be in your area, dude. But if you want to come out and get some training with us, I'll have a link in the description below for our website. If you want to donate to us via Patreon, that's awesome. Because not only does it help with like bullets and stuff for the channel, it also goes towards soldiers that we pluck from units. It's pretty much we find guys and pull them in thing. Flight, food, bullets, and gear. We provide all of it, and it's all because of you guys doing great things. It's way better than going out of pocket for this thing, even though I would definitely try. Now, additionally, if you are a school teacher that has been permitted to carry in the school and all of that, and you don't want to be hung up by something like a NRA safety course as like your only instruction towards this, and you want to get some training with us, you train with us for free forever. Yes, there will be a verification process, and we'll just exchange some emails, and it'll be fine from there. Same thing for school resource officers. Again, verification process is kind of required on that, but again, we'll shoot you emails back and forth, and we'll do what we got to do on that front. If you guys want to join the Facebook page too, it's a big old discussion page. We got a lot of stuff going on a regular basis. A lot of guys ask questions there, and they get answered before I get anywhere close to them. And I pop in and out to just kind of poke fun at people or answer questions that haven't been yet. So it's a pretty good time. But yeah, that's all I got on this one. I hope I don't ruffle too many feathers, because all I'm trying to do is push out accurate information, and that's the basis behind this channel. So remember, guys, regular guys, firearm is the last defense against tyranny. Be easy.